literally mesh up its military positions for survival. The reported death of an IDF officer in a Hezbollah drone strike is now sending fresh waves of fear across Israel's security establishment. Israeli troops are racing against time to defend themselves from what appears to be a growing onslaught of Hezbollah retaliation attacks. Even while defying the Trump-backed ceasefire, Israel is now reportedly hiding behind massive mesh nets to counter Hezbollah drones. Battered and bruised by repeated Hezbollah attacks, Israel is now taking fresh measures to shield itself from deadly retaliation strikes. The Israel Defense Forces have reportedly been forced to rely on protective mesh nets to counter Hezbollah's increasingly dangerous drone attacks. IDF units have installed large mesh barriers over vehicles and military positions to defend against Hezbollah first-person view drones. Reports claim that more than 158,000 square meters of protective mesh netting have already been supplied to Israeli forces. Israel's military is reportedly preparing to deploy mesh coverage equivalent in size to nearly 20 full soccer fields. The protective netting is intended to shield Israeli troops from the devastating impact and precision of Hezbollah drone strikes. The move comes shortly after a senior Israeli commander was reportedly killed in a brutal Hezbollah attack. The Israeli military said Captain Maoz Israel Rekanati was killed after an explosive drone struck his position during ongoing operations in the region. Rekanati served in the 12th Battalion of the Golani Brigade and was a platoon commander from Itamar. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu expressed condolences, stating that the nation stands with the officer's family during this period of loss. According to the Times of Israel, Rekanati is the 7th IDF soldier killed in southern Lebanon since the ceasefire came into effect. Meanwhile, a civilian contractor was also reported killed in the same operational theater, adding to the overall casualty count in recent days. On May 16th, the IDF said it intercepted 2 drones launched by Hezbollah that were heading toward Israeli troop positions. In response, the IDF carried out strikes on around 100 Hezbollah-linked targets across southern Lebanon, including areas near Tyre. These targets included surveillance positions, weapon storage sites, and infrastructure believed to be used for planning and launching attacks. Hezbollah, however, continued its operations, launching additional drones and rockets toward Israeli positions along the border. The group claimed it targeted the Uera barracks in northern Israel using a coordinated swarm of attack drones during the escalation. The IDF said multiple rockets fired at its troops were intercepted successfully, with no injuries reported in the latest round of attacks. Meanwhile, Israel continues defying the Trump-brokered ceasefire through fresh deadly military strikes across Lebanon. Despite the ceasefire extension being pushed to 45 days, Israel launched another wave of airstrikes on May 19th. At least 19 people were reportedly killed during the latest Israeli attacks targeting areas in southern Lebanon. The Israel Defense Forces claimed the strikes were aimed at Hezbollah-linked positions operating inside Lebanese territory. Israel's relentless Lebanon campaign is also unfolding at a time when the IDF is reportedly struggling with manpower shortages. The Israel Defense Forces have confirmed a substantial manpower shortfall amid simultaneous operations on multiple fronts, raising questions about readiness and unit rotation. Reports indicate the manpower gap is expected to widen over the coming months as personnel are stretched and recruitment shortfalls persist. The first cohort of troops who signed up under shortened enlistment terms are due to be discharged in January 2027. A timeline officials warn could further reduce available ranks if replacements are not mobilized. A senior IDF officer told the Times of Israel on May 20th that the service is facing a pronounced shortage, marking an official acknowledgement of the scale of the problem. Military planners project unfilled positions will rise from about 12,000 to roughly 17,000, a jump that could strain sustainment, rotations, and operational planning. Separate reports say around 32,000 people have been classified as draft evaders, while an additional estimated 50,000 eligible recruits failed to present themselves for enlistment when called, compounding the shortfall. The IDF official said, and I quote, "We will very soon reach the region of 80,000 to 90,000 draft dodgers. The army is prepared to absorb twice as many Haredim as are currently enlisting," unquote. Tayyip's public warning came days after IDF Chief Lieutenant General Eyal Zami said the military urgently needs more soldiers, underscoring growing alarm at the highest levels of Israel's defense establishment. Lieutenant General Zami has urged the government to extend mandatory service to 36 months rather than the current 30. arguing longer terms will help plug critical manpower gaps and sustain operational readiness. In interviews and briefings cited by the Times of Israel, IDF officials warned the military could face collapse in certain functions if manpower shortages are not addressed, language that highlighted the severity of the crisis. The IDF previously told lawmakers that about 80% of documented draft evaders come from the ultra